Hey friends, Barkey Dog here, back with another movie review. Who doesn't love old creature features, am I right? Science gone wrong, atomic era peril, and all of that. Well, this time we're looking at a pretty strange low-budget picture that pushes the boundary of believability just a little bit too far. Namely, From Hell It Came, a creature feature from 1957. Our story goes like this. On this tropical island, some scientists are doing some science. They're looking into radioactive fallout from atomic tests and want to see how it may have affected things on this here far-off island. Because there's radiation running around, they send out another team member to help with the research. And lo and behold, it's a chick our hero scientist guy wanted to marry. She said no because she wanted to make with the science instead of making with the love. Meanwhile, the natives are restless. This chief has usurped the throne, and the dead chief's son is being put to death for some kind of ginned-up crime. Hey there, Fabian, how you doing? Well, the new chief just wants to get rid of the poor guy. Fabian's own wife throws him under the bus since she's trading up and is now mistress of the new chief. So they croak Prince Fabian, but not before he invokes the curse of the Topanga, a tree monster who, legend has it, went around killing people. They bury Fabian in this ridiculous box, leaving the ceremonial dagger stuck in him and everything, as if they had a lot of those things. After almost an hour of the film, the monster comes to life and strikes. Besides the natives and the scientists, there's this incredibly annoying high side of middle-aged British woman, someone you wish the monster would just up and kill. Never mind revenge, Topanga. Shut her up already. If the monster did that, I, for one, could root for him. The natives are afraid of this tree monster, but his bark is worse than his bite, if you ask me. He's a bit like the mummy or a zombie in the sense that he can't move very fast and just sort of lumbers along. It seems like you could just outrun the guy and get away. They try to trap the tree monster, but it doesn't seem to do any good. They do set it on fire, but the monster decides to stick to it and keep trying to kill people. In spite of this thing's handicap, it seems awfully easy for him, almost like falling off a log. Well, the natives are desperate, and naturally, as they do in these movies, they turn to the white man for help because they are in fear, and it's a life or limb situation. The scientists try to get to the root of the problem, but never seem to figure out the science behind the Topanga monster. Probably because the main scientist is trying to put the make on the chick and convince her to marry him. He's no Tarzan, but he tries to take a leaf out of that book. Wouldn't you? You could say that it goes against the grain, and the story never really branches out. So, was it the radiation that created the monster, or the native magic, or what? They never say, and imply it could be either. The natives are badly cast here, to be honest. The women are all Polynesian or Chinese, so that kind of works, but the men all look like they're from the Bronx or something. In our cast, we don't really have any name brands, although many were character actors who appeared in a lot of TV shows and movies, albeit usually in very minor roles. For example, our hero, Dr. Arnold here, he's played by Todd Andrews. He played bit parts in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Now Voyager, and Heaven Can Wait. After this movie, he starred in a TV show called The Gray Ghost, a series about a Confederate cavalry officer that ran for 2 seasons, if you've ever heard of it. Probably his biggest role. The annoying lady was Linda Watkins. She was in The Parent Trap, but mostly played one-off roles in television series. John McNamara plays Professor Clark. He was in Imitation of Life and War of the Colossal Beast. Greg Palmer plays Chemo. He was in many more films, such as The Shootist, Big Jake, Hot Lead, and Cold Feet. Remember that one? As well as The Man with Bogart's Face, The Rare Breed, Shenandoah, just tons of things. Always in support, never a lead. The chief here was played by Baines Barron. He was the taskmaster in the 10 Commandments. I'm pretty sure he was the one who wouldn't stop construction when the old woman was trapped between the stones and Moses had to step in and save her. He was also a taxi driver in North by Northwest. Probably the most prolific performer here was Suzanne Ridgway. She had almost 300 credits to her name, mostly in supporting roles or uncredited bit parts. In this one, she plays Corey, a native chick. The monster costume is both good and bad. It looks scary enough, the face is cool, but in the first place, tree trunks tend to be round, right? The monster here is more kind of flat, and when he bends his arms, it's obvious they're made out of thin rubber, breaking any illusion that this is a tree creature. From Hell It Came was made by Dan and Jack Wilner. They wrote, directed, produced, and even edited this thing. These brothers only made 2 movies together, probably because they couldn't see the forest for the trees. If you're curious, the other one was The Phantom from 10,000 Leagues. This is a case where I think the movie would be a good candidate for a remake. Now, true, we have way too many of those damn things around today, but maybe if they had tried in the 1980s or the early 90s, it could have worked. It's like The Cat People. Imagine if this one had been given the remake treatment like That Picture, a horror movie from 1942, reimagined and remade in 1982. They honored the source material while making a new film out of it. Maybe even scarier than the original. I could see that being done with From Hell It Came, with proper photography, a better cast, and more believable casting of the native people, and looking like it was on a real jungle island. It could have been a real spooker. Not today, though. They don't know how to make good remakes anymore. Warner Archive has put this out on Blu-ray, and as usual, they've done a good job with it, but man, this movie, it's pretty terrible. So make like a tree and leave, Topanga. From hell it came and back to hell it can go. I'm giving this picture 1.5 paws up. It has a few interesting features, but it's not exactly the height of the genre. I guess I'm glad I saw it finally, but it's pretty sappy and full of wooden performances. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.